Dear students, we were studying the chapter Understanding Marginalization. This is the third part of this chapter. In this video, we will cover two topics, minorities and marginalization, and Muslims and marginalization. So let's start the video with the topic minorities and marginalization. Dear students, if you want to understand the topic minorities and marginalization, then we have to understand the meaning of minority. What is minority? Minority is the smaller number of people in comparison of other groups in the society. So this is the less or smaller number of some kinds of people or group in the society in comparison of rest of the people in the society. And majority means larger number of some kind of groups or people in the society. So in this way we have understood the meaning of minority and majority. Minority means less number of people, and minority less number or smaller number of people, majority larger number of people, right? So this was minority and majority. For example, in India, who are in minority, we can understand who are in minority like Sikhs. Basically it is based on religion, right? Minority in India, it is based on religion. So Sikh, Jains, Jainists, right? And Buddhists, you can understand. Parsis, this is also a religious community. Muslims are also understood as or considered as minority group. Christians, so etc. These are the minority groups. If we take example of majority group, Hindus. In India, Hindus are in majority. So as we have discussed that minority and majority are basically considered on the basis of religion, right? For example, in India, we have taken some examples like Sikhs, Parsis, Buddhists, Jainists, Christians, etc., Muslims, etc. Based on religion, they are in minority. So what is the problem? Being in minority or being in majority, is there any kind of problem? Yes, definitely there is a problem of insecurity, right? Sometimes minority groups are suppressed. We have so many examples in the world where minority groups are suppressed or repressed by the majority groups, like Hindus in Pakistan and Afghanistan, they are suppressed by the majority group, right? So many other countries are there where the people who are in majority impose their wishes, impose their rules, and impose their beliefs on the minority groups. But it is not so in India, because in India minority people are not supposed to feel insecurity. Why? Because of Indian Constitution. Now let's understand which provisions are there of Indian Constitution providing security or providing equal status to minority groups. If we talk about our preamble of our Constitution, this is a document which describes the philosophy of our Constitution. In the preamble, it is clearly written about equality, that equality will be provided to all the citizens of the country. Freedom also will be provided to all the citizens. There will be justice, social, economic, and political. All kinds of justice will be there for all kinds of people, all the people, whether they are in minority, whether they are in majority. So in this way, our Constitution is means providing the security to all the groups of the society, including minority groups, right? For example, one more thing we'll discuss about here, this topic, part 3 of our Constitution. Part 3 of our constitution is providing fundamental rights. Fundamental rights to all the citizens of country. Clear? So fundamental rights, there are 6 fundamental rights in our constitution, which are being provided to all the citizens of the country, article 12 to 35. But here we are talking about minorities. So special security is being provided for all kinds of minorities groups, including Sikhs, Muslims and Parsis, Christians, etc. Article 29, Article 29 and Article 30 of our constitution. Article 29 and Article 30, you should remember that these articles are providing the cultural and educational rights, cultural and educational rights to all the citizens of the country. Article 29 is related to the protection of language, right? Script of minorities, script and culture of minorities. Culture of minority. You should remember language, script and culture of minorities. This is Article 29. So in this way, in India, minorities are secured or being provided with the equal rights. Article 30 is about a right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions. Educational institutions. Clear? So this fundamental right, the cultural and educational rights belonging to Article 29 and 30, specially for minorities protection, right? It is belonging to the protection of minorities. So dear students, I hope that you have understood the topic we have discussed till now. For example, first of all, we discussed about what do you understand by minority. After that, we discussed about majority. Then we took some examples of minority groups in India, examples. Clear? And then we discussed about majority and how Indian Constitution is providing the protection for all the minority groups in India, including part 3 of our constitution, fundamental rights. Clear? 6 fundamental rights are being provided, including a very important fundamental right, cultural and educational rights. This is the 5th fundamental right given in Article 29 and 30. And what is the concept of Article 29 and what is the concept of 30? We also have discussed here. And after that, we'll discuss about the next topic of this chapter. So the next topic is Muslims and marginalization. According to 2011 census, Muslims are 14.2% of India's population. Definitely, they are in minority. They are considered to be a marginalized community because they are lagging behind in education, they are lagging behind in cultural and other developmental things in India today, because in comparison to other communities, they have over the years been deprived of the benefits of socio-economic development. As we have discussed, the data in the 3 tables below derived from different sources indicate the situation of Muslim community. Let's discuss about the real situation of Muslims according to these tables. This is according to 2008 and 9 access to basic amenities. What are the basic amenities here? Pakka houses, electricity and tap water. If we compare with Hindus, 65.4% people, Hindu people are living in Pakka houses. 75.2% Hindus are having the access to electricity, and 43.7% Hindus are having the tap water. If we compare with Christian, 69.3%, 86.2% electricity, 48.0% this is tap water. But Muslims are lagging behind in comparison of these communities. 63.8% people are living in Pakka houses and 67.5% are having electricity facility at their homes, and 35.8% people are having the tap water facility. If we compare with the Sikh, they are more developed in comparison of all the communities given here. 91.3% people are living in Pakka houses. 96% Sikhs are having the electricity facilities, and 49.3% are having tap water facility. Next one, literacy rate by religion 2011. This is also is given in percentages. All 74, if we know the correct literacy rate of India according to 2011 census, 74.04%, right? Among all kinds of Hindus, all Hindus, 63% is their literacy rate. Christians 74, Sikhs 67, Buddhist 71, and Jains highest literacy rate among all the people in India, Jainist 86%. But Muslims are lagging behind here in literacy rate, 57% according to 2011 census. Now, public employment of Muslims, it is also given in percentages. Public employment, population, out of population 13.5%, IAS only 3%, IPS 4%, IFS 1.8%. If we talk about central public sector unit, this is 3.3%, state PSU 10.8%, and banks and RBI, Reserve Bank of India, 2.2%. So these figures or these tables are clearly describing the situation of minorities like Muslims in India, that how they are lagging behind in literacy rate, in services, and other facilities also. So recognizing that Muslims in India were lagging behind, as we have talked earlier. So for this purpose, means in terms of various development indicators, the government set up high level committee in 2005. This committee was headed by Justice Rajendra Sachar. So it is also known as Sachar Committee. Clear? So the committee examined the social, economic, and educational status of Muslim community in India. The report discusses in detail the marginalization of this community, how they are marginalized, and what can be done for the development of these people. So it suggests that on a range of social, economic, and educational indicators, the situation of the Muslim community is comparable to that of other marginalized communities like scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, SCs and STs. For example, according to the report, the average year of schooling for Muslim children between the age of 7 to 16 is much lower than that of other socio-religious communities, whatever we have discussed about Sikhs, Christians, Jainist, Buddhist, etc. So it is the lowest among those communities. Economic and social marginalization experienced by Muslims has other dimensions as well. What other dimensions? Like other minorities, Muslim customs and practices are sometimes quite distinct from what is seen as the mainstream. Some, not all, Muslims may wear a burqa. You can see in the picture, burqa, sport a long beard, wear a fez, and these become ways to identify all Muslims. So these are the specific identities of Muslims. Because of this, they tend to be identified differently, and some people think they are not like the rest of us, they are different from us. So this thinking or stereotyping is providing or creating the marginalization of Muslims. Often this becomes an excuse to treat them unfairly and discriminate against them. Do you remember reading in your class 7th book about the Ansaris were finding it difficult to rent a house, and this social marginalization of Muslims in some instances has led to them migrating from places where they have lived, often leading to the ghettoization, where they are being provided with very small houses and not appropriate for living. of this community. Sometimes this prejudice leads to hatred and violence. So, dear students, till now we have understood that Muslims are considered minorities in India, and they are lagging behind in education, in other developmental criterias and other facilities in comparison of other minority groups. If we read this extract described by Annie Faruqi, a girl, you can understand what kind of discrimination is there against them. I live in a Muslim dominated area. Some days back during Ramjan, there was some disturbances that started taking a communal outlook. Communal, it is the discrimination on the basis of religion. My brother and I had gone for an iftar party. This is one kind of party in the neighborhood on the special occasion of the festival, and were dressed in traditional clothes. So what are the traditional clothes in Muslim religion? Sherwani and salwar kameez respectively. On returning home, my brother and I were asked to change our clothes to jeans and t-shirt. Means they were forced to change their clothes. Now, when everything is fine, I wonder what was the reason that we were asked to change our clothes and why I didn't find it odd. Were our clothes giving away our identity, and is that identity a link to all kinds of fears and discrimination? Means we can understand here what she wants to explain here, that if you are wearing a special kind of clothes, then you will be identified in the society and you might be discriminated by other people. So you should not wear your special identity clothes. You should wear the common clothes so that you will not be identify the people. Clear? So here we can understand the feeling of the girl. So dear students, in this way, in conclusion, you can read about here, and you can see in this picture the Sachar Committee report also debunked other prevalent myths about Muslims. It is commonly believed that the Muslim prefer to send their children to madrasas. The figures show that only 4% of Muslim children are in madrasas. Here you can remember this data, whereas 66% attend government schools and 30% private schools. So this is only stereotyping or myths about Muslims in the society. So in this way we have completed this chapter. I hope that you understood. This is very simple topic, whatever we have discussed in this video. Minorities and marginalization, Muslims and marginalization.